All right, pandemonium in the ring after John Gotti Jr. and Floyd Mayweather fought last night. I'm not sure if you knew that they were going to box, but they did. And actually, it was a pretty notable fight. And you know what? I have all the clips. We get to watch them together because some genius strung together a bunch of clips from people who took cell phone videos. And so I basically can show you all the notable stuff from the fight, and then we can see the brawl. And I'm going to take a minor risk, and I'm going to show you from the actual broadcast exactly what led to the brawl. So I think I'll be able to get away with it because it's just a small little clip, and then we'll go back to the clips. But nonetheless, we're going to get to see all of this, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do commentary on Floyd Mayweather beating up John Gotti Jr. III, and then a huge brawl ensuing afterwards because this entire ring was full of people going ape. It's too early in the video for me to swear, but you know, and this is a weird fight, man. Like, this was a weird fight that they made this fight in the first place. I didn't really understand it, but we're going to jump into it. So before I do, if you appreciate me bringing you this content, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Or if you watch my content consistently, please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. Don't be the person that just steals the content. It's just not nice. Also, I need to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Kratom, $60 kilograms, incredibly inexpensive. Top quality. You will love it. It's the only place that I ever get Kratom, and I get it all the time. Well, I don't get it all the time because I buy it in kilograms, but $60 kilograms, incredibly inexpensive. All the strains, they've got capsules, they've got everything. Go give them a look. All right, that's Kratom. So let's jump into this thing. All right. So thank you, FightHype.com, for stringing this together for us to look at. And we're going to go through the whole thing. It's about 6 minutes. We got the warm-ups, we got some of the fight, and then we got the brawl. Let's do it.
You know what it is. I'm bringing y'all backstage. I'm letting y'all motherfuckers see it. You see them hands, nigga? You see them hands? You see them hands? That's called technique. It's called skill. It's called the greatest.
All right, so cool. He's warming up. Warming up. We don't care. And we got some silent video here. He's coming in. So he's in good spirits. But one thing notable is that at the face-off, these two guys got into it. Like, for real, got into it. Now, you got to keep in mind, really quick. Let me actually make myself big real quick. If you don't know who John Gotti Jr. or John Gotti III is, this is very notable, right? John Gotti, if you're, living under a rock, was a mafia boss, the most famous mafia boss of the 80s. He's probably, now, this era, probably the most famous gangster in history, him and Al Capone, right? So he had a son who was also in the mafia, who took over the family when he went to jail, and then he had a son, and it's this guy, John Gotti III, okay? So the reason that he's fighting John Gotti III is because he's the grandson of the most famous mafia boss in history. He's actually a good fighter. But when they made this matchup, I was like, okay, this is really bizarre. I don't know how they're doing this. I mean, obviously the mob has always been involved in boxing and stuff, but it seemed like a really bizarre matchup. But nonetheless, that seems notable given that the entire thing goes into pandemonium and they all fight. All right, let's get to the fight. All right. Yeah. So Floyd was just toying with him and humiliating him the whole time. Was being really, like, I mean, I don't know about humiliating, but he was being really, like, he was being a prick. Showing off, like a star. Dude, listen. This kind of stuff. I want to give Floyd credit. In his last couple fights, they've been great, dude. He's been putting on an incredible show, doing stuff like this, like making it really exciting. He's fighting inferior opponents, but who cares? He goes in there and makes it really exciting. Anyway, he deserves a lot of credit for that. So this is how the whole fight looked, basically, is Floyd making Gotti miss, being really arrogant, and just clipping him. And Gotti was getting more and more frustrated. Throughout the entire fight, you could just see he was getting mad. He kept getting more and more mad.
Respect you, John.
Look at Floyd. And Floyd literally, The whole time is just smiling and talking, smiling and talking. They ended up stopping the fight because they wouldn't stop jawing at each other and then like not letting go of holds. And look at Floyd. Man, he's still so fast, dude. Dude, and that's like, dude, that Floyd's put a lot of heat on those punches compared to how he fights now. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That's what it's like. That's what it's like to fight Floyd, dude. He hits you, you can't hit him. All right, so the brawl's coming up here in a second. All right, so right there, they skip the part. Now, hang on. I have to do a little bit of surgery on this on my side because, like, for me not to get this thing demonetized, I have to, like, do it like this. All right, because we're going to show this, but we don't want to, you know. All right, so we're just going to show this part, which is where they lock up, and this is how the brawl starts.
No, stop. Stop. Let up. Let up. Let up. What the fuck? I said let up.
God, he's literally going to frustration. That's it. I'm going to take care of it. You clinch. Mayweather's going to take care of it.
Okay, hold it.
Yeah, they rub housing now. They rub housing. Well, that's what they told the corner guy. The guy in the corner.
That's it.
Oh, they can't stop.
That's it.
They
That's
can't
it.
stop.
He's going to stop him.
He'd had
That's
it. All right, so that's how it started. Now we can go back to this one. You can see it from the side. Oh, wait.
What's up, guys?
Come on. Oh, my God. All right, bear with me for a second here. I got to make this. I just want you guys to be able to see this whole thing. Obviously. I can't believe that just happened. Dude. All right, so just so we can see the whole thing, obviously. All right, so here we go.
These motherfuckers crazy.
Wait, boom. Here we go. Yeah, Gotti he snapped, dude. Look how many people are in there, dude.
Oh my God. It's ever, man. I swear to God.
You know what? I just realized, like, so what I'll do too at the end of this is I'll tell you guys a story. I'll tell you guys the story about when I met Sammy the Bull. So Sammy the Bull Gravano, I don't know if you guys know that channel. He was John Gotti's underboss. That's why he's so famous. He was like, he's John Gotti's underboss. He admitted to killing 19 people, and he testified against John Gotti, and he ended up getting like 5 years. Like the most famous, most like high level mobster to ever turn witness at the time. And so I'll tell you about the first time that I hung out with him, and how kind of this is a surreal experience. But first, we'll just finish watching this brawl real quick. They're still going at it, dude. Yeah. So they end up like, yeah. So they called it a Mayweather TKO.
You beat his ass, champ. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, champ. That's how you do it.
He's so pissed.
Look at this shit.
Oh, there's John Gotti. Okay, so that's his dad. That, well, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but like this dude right there If you can see my cursor, can you see my cursor? I think you can. Oh, no, you can't. All right, so see the guy with the sunglasses? The guy that is directly to the left of his sunglasses with the black hair. There's a guy with the white hair. He's in between the guy with the white hair and the guy with the sunglasses. He's in front of him. That's John Gotti Jr., who was a mafia boss. So all these guys are mob guys. All of these guys are mob guys.
The ring at this time.
All older guys. All older guys.
The ring at this time.
Dude, he wants to fight everybody, man.
Come do something, bitch. Come do something, bitch. Come do something, bitch. Fuck you, bitch ass nigga.
Damn.
Barbecue pit over. Say how much? Barbecue pit over.
Damn. All right. So that's what it is. Now, okay. So first of all, I mean, listen, it's not like the mafia is what it was. You know what I mean? It's not like it was. It is, you know, kind of what it was back when those guys were in charge of like the entire city and the entire country. But you got a lot of killers, you know, around there. I mean, his dad's killed people 1,000%. But yeah, he just got very, very frustrated. He flipped out, dude. That's what that was. He got frustrated and he flipped out. And listen, like that doesn't happen very often, dude. It's funny that that two of the biggest ones that have ever happened were both Floyd Mayweather, Zab Judah. If you guys remember the Floyd Mayweather Zab Judah fight, that's exactly what happened. Zab Judah flipped out. Then their whole teams just like that after the fight, where you know, and they all jumped. So yeah, I mean, listen. You fight mobsters, dude. That is, you know, they're like, you raise a guy in mob life. If he gets frustrated, he attacks you. I mean, it is what it is. Although you had no luck throughout the fight, you know, I don't know what you thought was going to happen later. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. That's what happened though. So anyway, I'll tell you guys about how I met Sammy Gravano and, what that experience was like. So we actually not only did I meet Sammy, so I did a podcast with him, and then I made friends with his son, and we actually went to Scottsdale, and we hung out with them for New Year's 2020 to 2021. So like, you know, we got there December 30th, 2020, and then hung out with them on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2020, going into 2021. And it was literally just me, Gabrielle, our kids, Sammy, his wife, her twin sister, Gerard, who's his son, his wife, and their kids, and then like one of their friends. And that's it. It was just us and them, you know. Oh, and Karen Gravano was there too, the one from Mob Wives. We had a really good time, dude. We had a blast that night. But yeah, so the first time I met him, like he had just started his YouTube channel, and my TikTok had already blown up, right? So I reached out to his Instagram and was like, dude, because I had read his book. His book was like one of the first, like I think it was the first like mafia nonfiction book that I ever read. It's great, dude. Underboss is like his book Underboss, which he wrote, you know, I don't know, way back then, like in the late 90s or something. I read it when I was like maybe 20 or something like that. And I mean, it had been out for a while, but nonetheless, it was like my favorite book. I ripped through this thing. I remember being in Hawaii. I could not put this book down. And so I reached out to him, said I love the book, been following his career, think that he's got a really strong future in YouTube, because you could already tell, like he could tell a story. He was going to do really well. Not to mention, he is by far the most credible mobster that's ever started a YouTube channel. Like everyone knows the guy admitted to murdering 19 people. You know what I mean? Like mafia hits, he's not like a serial killer. He's just like, he's a hitter in the mob, and he was the underboss. So he responded, and it was his son that was managing his Instagram, and his son had seen some of my stuff. And so, you know, we made buddies, and then I went out there to do a podcast with him, and I was going to help them with TikTok, etc. And, you know, he's the first person that I'd ever met that I knew for sure, you know, like not like I have a feeling about this guy, but I knew for sure was like a criminal who had murdered a bunch of people, you know. Like I'd hung out with a dude in Mexico one time when we were in Cabo, who told us that he was hiding there and he was on the run. And I wasn't even hanging out. My other friend, like, he was trying to help us get these ATVs to make money or something. And I looked at him and I told my friends, I'm like, dude, this guy will leave you in the desert, man. Like, this is like a for real dangerous guy. Like, this is like a for real dangerous guy. I know you think it's funny, but like, you don't have the eyes like I do. I'm telling you, like, this dude has put people in the desert. I don't think there's any reason why he would put all of us in a bus. There's 22 of us. You know, he probably just wants to make money on the ATV deal, but like, dude, be more selective with who you're hanging out with. But like with Sammy, you knew 100% that that's what you're looking at. And so he launched this really successful podcast. And when I got there, he had, so they hadn't launched it yet, right? Like, so they had actually produced the very first episode, and it wasn't live yet. So he wanted to like let me listen to it. You know, he's really proud of it, and it was awesome. Again, every reason to be really proud of it. I don't know if you guys have actually listened to the podcast. It's like incredible. But he's like, you know, listen, we're gonna let you listen to it. He's like, but if you record it, he's like, I'm gonna shoot you. And he just deadpanned me. He's like, I'm gonna shoot you if you let anyone listen to it. I just went and I just laughed, you know. And then he laughed. Like, he was doing it. He's like, he just a guy that on autopilot will like pressure test you, you know? Like, he's joking. Like, he's obviously joking, but he's joking in a way to see if I'm a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, that's like 100%. That's what he was doing. Just to see how I would react and be like, wait, you're going to shoot me? You know, oh my God, you're going to shoot me? So we hung out. We did the podcast. He told me a bunch of stories, and like, you know, he told me a bunch of stories he's never told on the, well, he told me a couple stories he never told me or told on the podcast. And like the way that he's telling you a story, like when you're sitting right there, it's like as an example, he told a story about a guy they trapped after they caught him cheating in one of their card games, right? Like, this guy had just been beating the brakes off of all of them in this card game, and they figured it out that he had been cheating, and they trapped him there, right? So this is like in the prime of his mafia career. They trapped some dude who had been cheating them out of thousands of dollars in a card game. And so he's telling the story, and he's telling it like what he said to the guy, but he's doing it in a way as if I'm the guy, right? And so he's like, I basically just said to him, he's like, look, man. He's like, he's sitting 1 foot away from me. He's like, look, your life's over, all right? You're never walking out of here. You may as well just tell me how you did it. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? You know? And then he's like, then I had the guys rough him up a little bit. Then I put him back in the chair and was like, I don't understand. Why are you holding out? You want to die with a secret? You're dying tonight either way. You may as well tell me how you did it. And it was like, I mean, if you've ever watched his channel, the way he tells stories, he's like me, where he like relives stories in his brain as he's telling them. That's why, you know, people who you're like, oh, this guy tells a great story. It's just some kind of weird, like, mental processing thing that we do where we are actually reliving the thing when we tell the story, you know, and he does it. That's what happens with me. That's what happens with him. And so you feel like you're there. So I felt like I was the guy who just got caught cheating in his card game, who just got the shit beat out of him by a couple guys who have killed a bunch of people. And you've got some high-ranking mafia guy telling me that this is the last hour I'm ever going to be alive. They're going to beat the shit out of me and then kill me. And I just remember being like, Jesus Christ. I was like, this must have been I don't think, you just try to imagine being like human claustrophobia. Like, you can't leave. These guys are going to fucking kill you. There's nothing you can do. And it was just like, it's really scary, like, to think about, you know? And, but what he ended up doing is, you know, they beat him up and then he made him work it off. So he made him work for him in that place for a long time until he worked the debt off. And he said he ended up really liking the guy. But yeah, then we hung out on New Year's, and you know, we just hang out, and like, I mean, dude, you hang out with a person like that, you should probably be talking very little, you know? Like, I just tried, like, my conversations with him were me asking him questions and trying to bait him into talking about things that I already knew about, you know? Like, I read this in the book, and so I would just ask, like, kind of like a probing question and see if he would talk about it in person, which he did. He loves talking about that stuff. And it's like, these mob guys, it's like, I don't know, like when you listen to Michael Franzese, you could tell, like, he's more of like a regular dude now. You know, he's been out of the life for so long that like he kind of sees, you know, he's like a regular dude. Sammy, if you put him back into mob life, you know, where his days consisted of setting up meetings, you know, with somebody who's trying to not do a work stoppage that they want them to do or whatever. It's like, dude, he would literally slide back into that life as if he had never left it instantly, you know? Like you could just tell the way he talks. He knows that life so well. It's all he's ever done, you know? After he got out of his first, I don't know if you guys know this, but like after he did his first prison sentence, you know, which ended up being 5 years for 19 murders, they hit him in Witsec, which he left after like 8 months, and then he moved to Arizona, got plastic surgery, and then within like a year or two, he was running like the biggest ecstasy ring in Arizona, and they got popped and he got shipped. Although according to him, he just financed it, like he just gave them money, and his son and these guys, can't remember their name. There was like some name for their crew, but. Yeah, there's a story about one of the guys that was interacting with him on the regular, and he's just like, oh, you know, like, cool, Sammy the Bull. And then Sammy, this is what this guy said that he recommended that they knock off their supplier so that they could go direct to this thing. He's like, yeah, we should just kill that guy. And the dude's like, wait, what? Anywho, I don't know if that's true, though, but it is what it is. That's enough. Mayweather, John Gotti, brawl, hilarious. Love you guys. Peace.